waifus, trade fights for better views. We both need something new. Maybe we should just tell them.
Hello, hive-minded readers, and welcome to the Books and the Bees podcast. Just like bees play a crucial role in pollinating flowers and sustaining life, books pollinate minds and nurture the soul. We see the connection between the two, the delicate dance of ideas and stories that enrich our lives.
I'm Hailey.
I'm Cody.
Welcome to our podcast.
Hello, Hailey.
Hello.
It's episode 59.
59. We're out
almost
here.
60.
We're almost 60 years old.
Yeah.
That's so
Pension's
old.
coming in. So old. So old. Yeah, and if you're listening to this, that means you've listened to hopefully the last episode, which did come out late, so I want to apologize if you were wondering. We had a small technological error, but we're back in business, so glad it worked out.
We're grooving. We're moving.
Yep.
We're grooving.
We don't know how the internet works, so...
Yeah, we're just people, okay?
Yeah.
We're just we're just a couple of guys.
Yep. We fired the whole production team, started brand new.
Yeah.
Got people that really know what they're doing. So this time,
Yeah.
they better get it right. So
Yeah, they deserve a bonus.
they deserve a bonus. They deserve a big bonus. Like
Yeah, a bonus and a raise and life pension, actually.
life pension. Yes.
Yeah,
100%.
that's 100% matched.
Oh yeah, now you're talking rent free,
Rent free,
tax free.
Yeah, no tax. 100% match, no tax, pension for life.
Yes.
Living the good life, truly.
Yes. Living the good life. How are you, Hailey? How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I'm tired. I've been
Yeah.
I got 2 new employees under my belt, and I've been training and making sure
She's
that
a
they're
boss bitch.
good. I'm a boss ass bitch. But
Are you wearing a blazer right now?
I am actually wearing a blazer.
I just saw that.
I am wearing a blazer. It is, which is so funny because it's casual Fridays at work. But I am one of those dumbasses that like still wears like professional stuff just in case, you never know. And and by casual Fridays I mean we wear jeans, which is fun and funky fresh. Yeah, because usually we're supposed to be in like slacks or like dress pants. Which is not business casual, okay? Let me just tell you that.
Yeah, no, that's not
business casual.
No.
But that's what our quote unquote dress code is. So I'm like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
But yeah, so yes, I am wearing a blazer, but yeah,
I love it.
I was training my newbies in our EHR, because I work in healthcare. That's all you get to know about my job.
I don't know what EHR means, but
electronic health record.
Oh.
Yep. Just healthcare things.
Healthcare stuff.
Yeah, healthcare stuff. And
the care of health.
The care of health. Yep.
I wore a t-shirt that says Scuttlebutt Brewing on it because I don't work in a real job. Although I have tried to wear button-ups more often. I feel like now that I'm not in graduate school anymore, I feel like I should like dress like somebody who's not in graduate school anymore. But today I didn't care, so I wore the shirt.
He's a doctor?
Yeah. Not the like medical kind.
Still a doctor though, right?
The other kind. Yeah. Still a doctor, but yeah.
Still counts.
Not the medical kind. Yeah. Yep. And I went to DC this week, had a good time. That's part of the reason why I couldn't fix the error, because I was out of town. I couldn't upload the link that I needed to. But yeah, it was good. I was going to try to go to a bookstore, but I ended up not having time to. But I did go to this place called Ben's Hot Chili, which, do you remember me talking about the book Raw Dog like a long time ago?
Yes.
It's a memoir of this comedian who traveled the United States and went to all these famous hot dog places. And this one's in DC. It's famous because a lot of like famous people go there. Like Barack Obama's been there, Kevin Hart, and a few other people. Like a lot of people have been there.
The greats.
And I was Kevin Hart, Barack Obama, the 2 people that are just the most iconic. And I was expecting it to be good because I've heard good things about it. And I walk in, there's a bunch of people there, and they have these weird hot dogs that are called half smoked. And then they also have fries. And I asked the lady, I was like, should I get the fries? And she's like, you have to get the fries. They're like amazing. And I spent $20 on a hot dog and fries and a soda. Damn. And I got, and it was not good. Aww. It was like not good at all.
What a letdown.
The hot dog was fine, but they cover it in chili and mustard and sauerkraut and onion, which is a lot of stuff.
That's a lot.
And then the fries were like $5 and they were legit frozen and cooked, like just frozen in a bag and then cooked fries. And I was like, okay, these fries ain't worth shit.
They're not even
this
fresh.
This is garbage. This is garbage shit. So I'm gonna say it out loud. Mid. Mid. I would not recommend.
I wouldn't even call that mid. I'd call that lower than mid.
It was bad. It was bad. I'll tell you, it was bad.
What a letdown too. Like, how dare they? First of all,
I was bummed. So but that was my one new thing in DC. So
okay. Well,
I did go to I went to the art gallery. I guess that was
new. An art gallery. What kind of?
I've been there often enough that I've done most of things. It was like, it's like the Art Institute, I would say, of like Chicago.
Okay.
They have a lot of portraits and then sculptures. I didn't have a lot of free time. I ended up with like an hour, which was barely enough time to see anything, but they did have a Da Vinci, which I saw. It wasn't like the Mona Lisa, of course.
Da Vinci?
But a Da Vinci, yeah. Just like the movie. But yeah, it was good. Had a good time.
That's cool.
Glad to be home.
Man. That's pretty cool because not many people can be like, yeah, I've seen a Da Vinci, like any of them, pick one.
I didn't realize that there were any like in America. I just assumed they were all in, Europe, but
I guess I never put thought to that either.
I'm not really an art person per se either, so it's not like I didn't even know there was a Da Vinci in there until I walked in and I heard somebody looking for it, and I was like, I'm going to follow these people. And I did, and they took me to it.
I love that. I don't know why, but when you said that you were an art person, I kind of am an art person, but not like a classical art person. I'm just like a collector of like random artists and like their art. And one time, this is so tangenty, but my parents got like a package in the mail, and my mom opened it and she was like, what the fuck is this? And I'll show you. Someone sent to my parents' house, and we don't know who sent it. We have no idea. Like, no idea who sent it. Like, it didn't have a return address. It didn't have like a note, nothing. Didn't come from Amazon, nothing. And it was a like Art Nouveau angelic creation of like Tupac.
What?
And
I'm into this.
Let me show you the and it's like a big painting. Like, it's a big like piece of art.
That's impressive.
And I've kept it. Like, I still have it. And we keep it in our house, and it's just like the most coolest like Tupac freaking it's got layers. Like, it's got like different it's got like angels in it. It's got freaking like, I don't know, some there's like other artists, but I honest to goodness couldn't tell you who the other artists are. Oh, I could tell you one of them, but I don't remember what his name is. It's the guy that did Ice Cube. No, not Ice Cube. Is it Ice Cube? Straight out of Compton. Anyways, I sound like a dumbass.
So. I think it's him.
I can't remember. But yeah, it's got like a bunch of different artists, and just Tupac just in the front.
It's really cool.
It's great. Yeah, it's pretty great.
Yeah.
What am I?
I do like some art. I wanted to get this book, and I wish I'd gotten it. It was at Barnes and Noble, and it was a book of statues' butts, like. And I think it was called The Book of Butts. And I was like, this would be a perfect coffee table book. Like,
hell yeah.
And I considered it, but I was like, no, that's fine. Because we don't even have a coffee table. But when we went back, I was like, I'm gonna look for this book, and if I find it, I'm gonna get it. And they didn't have it, so I'm gonna have to look for another fun art book like that. But
yeah. Ugh, we love art books. I have quite a collection of art books too, but
I don't have any. I have none.
Yeah, I have.
Zilch.
I have 4
Wow.
art books. I have quite a bit.
Wow, she's an artiste.
I am an art connoisseur.
Yeah.
But
Well,
most
we
of
actually
them
have
involve naked people, so
honestly, that's kind of what I want is art that involves naked people. So statues are my favorite. I love statues.
yeah, statues are cool.
I think they're so impressive. And there was another art book I saw in New York that was, God, I wish I could remember what it was called, but it was like about like celebrating gay culture. And
that's cool.
it was very, I don't want to say pornographic because that wasn't the intention, but it was very like, nudity,
Risque.
pro nudity. And I was like, this would be kind of cool, but it might be a little much for me to put in my house. So
hell yeah.
it was also like $80. It was a really thick book. It was $80. And I was like, I don't think I can afford to bring this with me. Like it's probably going to make my suitcase way more than what I can take.
You're like, I'm not trying to break the bank here.
Yeah. Because it probably would have put me over my weight limit. So
that's
of the suitcase. So yeah.
I forget that that's a thing.
Yeah, and I was running. I had already bought like 6 books too, so I was running a little tight shipped, I would say. But
fair enough.
It worked out. Speaking of books that involve nudity, should we talk about what we're reading?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Hailey, do you want to go first?
Sure. Because the likelihood of nudity in one of my books is a lot higher.
That's so true. Yeah.
No, I'm still reading, well, I don't know. I think I mentioned it in the last episode, that I was reading The Fierce Vow by Kayne. I want to say it's the 3rd book. I'm pretty sure it's the 3rd book in the series that I'm reading. I'm like at the very, very tail end. I was like just wrapping it up, and trying to start the next book, which I'm even more excited to start. But yeah, still on my mafia romance bullshit. I love it. It's my favorite. It's gotten me out of my reading slump, which that's really all that we need in life is like books that get us out of our reading slumps. So yeah.
100%.
Yeah, that's what I'm reading. Not a whole lot, but it's something. What are you reading, Cody?
I'm looking them up because I forgot to put them in the notes.
Oh no.
But I do want to start with the book that I talked about last week. I Think They Love You by Julian Winters. I have not finished it. I'm probably like over halfway through. I might not finish it, TBH, because I was kind of expecting it to be a little bit spicier than it is, and it's kind of, I don't know. I'm not. So if you remember the premise, it's this guy who his dad runs this like party throwing business. Like fancy parties, and he's retiring, so he wants someone to take over, and the main character is his son, decides to try to be CEO, and then ends up pretending to be dating his ex-boyfriend through kind of this weird situation. And I'm not sure I'm in love with this particular trope, like the pretend to be dating thing. I don't think is something that I love a lot.
That's fair.
And the characters are fun, and I'm enjoying the story, but like I'm not seeking out to read this book, so I might end up dumping it. It's due from the library in a couple days, so we'll see. But I don't know if I'll be able to finish it in time. But it was still, I would say, it's enjoyable. So if that trope is something that you like, I would say you would like this book a lot.
Hell yeah.
And so I started another book called Death of the Author by Nnedi Okorafor, who I've been really onto lately. This is her newest book. It just came out last month, I believe. Maybe this month. No, came out in January. And it's basically about an author who is having a hard time. She's disabled. She just got fired from her job as a professor. And she decides to write a book that's completely different than her other books. It's a science fiction drama that she decides to write. And her life takes off in a lot of interesting ways. Haven't really made it super far. I'm probably like 10% into this book, maybe 20.
Hell yeah.
But I'm really enjoying it. Nnedi Okorafor is like one of my favorite authors at this very moment in time. So I'm really enjoying it. And this book kind of reminds me of a book that I really loved from R.F. Kuang called Yellowface, which was one of my top books the year that book came out. So it's giving me that vibe. I'm really excited to continue reading this book. Super good.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. And then the last book that I'll just very briefly mention because I've already talked about the series a lot. It's the new Dungeon Crawler Carl book. Well, new to me because it's book 5. There's 7 out and I'm on book 5. It's called The Butcher's Masquerade. Same premise. A fun talking cat and a crazy dude living in a apocalypse and surviving together. And I love it so much. It's so funny. I'm listening to it and it's amazing.
I love that.
Yeah.
I seriously, like, one of these days I might read
Princess
one of
Donut,
those
baby.
books.
Gotta
Yeah.
love it.
They just sound so fun.
They are. I know your husband would like them, and I just wish he would. I just wish he would do it. Like, just crack it open and read it.
He would likely, probably never, because he's just not like a reader book type person. Like I said, he was like, "Yeah, I'll read Dante's Inferno," and then he was like, "Okay, that was enough."
Does he know that other books are fun? Like, has he?
I know, right? Does he know that like books aren't like scary and?
You should be like, hey, here's a really fun book that you'll love, and give him like a really difficult book to read, like, like the Bible or something.
Give him
something in Italian.
No, because he knows Spanish, so he'd probably be able to like figure it out.
Yeah, he probably would be. Yeah, yeah, that's funny.
That would be hysterical.
Yeah, so we got good books. You're loving you're in the mafia romance craze right now.
I am. There's just something about it,
Is book 3 the last one of that particular series?
Let me go look actually, because I don't remember. Oh my gosh, I have beekeeping.
Oh,
but I won't see it till later.
Okay, you gotta wait. You gotta stay tuned.
Sorry.
For the next minute.
Let me go look up Monica Kayne.
Is this a 5, by the way, on the honey scale?
Oh yeah. And there's like a lot. Like it's very like smut forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think They Love You. I would say I have not seen any spice, so
okay.
I can't. I'm supposed to be, I think, but right now I have 0 spice and I'm halfway through the book. So
dang.
Yeah.
So there's 4 in this series, and the last. So I'm currently reading The Fierce Vow, and then the next book is called Shattered Crown.
Okay.
Cool. And I think that there's going to be a bit of it like an age gap situation in the next, but not like it's not a bad age. You know what I mean? Like it's not like they're already adults. I'll put it that way. They're already adults. Like frontal lobes are developed.
That's good. That's good.
We're people
I'm
that
glad
are
we clarified.
yeah. It's like age gap, but like appropriate. You know? I mean, there's some things about it that are not appropriate, but it's it's a spicy romance. Like, what do you want from me?
It's not a creepy spicy romance.
Yeah, it's not like romance. A gross like, ew, what the hell are you doing? Like, I have to put the book down and go rinse my eyes with bleach. Because I've read some books like that where I'm like, oh my god, what am I reading? And then I would like close it and then
the Ice Planet Barbarians kind of gave me that vibe a little bit.
Just a little bit, yeah.
Just because of the like not consensualness, complete consensualness of it. I think was the biggest thing. But
yeah, I'm all for like experimenting with like that sort of stuff as far as like in a healthy like fashion, such as like book reading, and like getting into like the more quote unquote like maybe taboo. But there's a hard line for me to draw with like age gaps.
Oh, 100%.
I'm like, yeah. Ugh. And even now, like, oh my gosh, speaking of that, I was just watching, I love Vampire Diaries, just saying. But I was thinking about it the other day, and I was like, since I've been watching it again, I've multiple rewatches, and I was like, And also spoilers, I guess, if you haven't watched Vampire Diaries, which are like, if you haven't, go watch it, you weirdo. No. But so the two main characters, they're brothers, they're vampires. We have Stefan and Damon. Stefan is supposed to be 17, and then Damon's like 25, I think is what I read, like canonically. Well, in the series, now I read like one of the books, two of the books, but in the TV series, Elena, the female main character, she's 17. She is in high school. She is 17. Okay, Stefan has been 17 for like 160 some years at one point. Yeah. Which, like, okay, he kind of gets a little bit of a pass because, like, he's still 17 minded, I guess. But, like,
he's like not 17.
Yeah, and also she, like, Damon, like, hooks up with her best friend who, like, is also 17, and he's 25 canonically, and also been around for like 160 some years. So, like, ew. When I made that connection the other night, I was like, oh my god, that's nasty. Oh my god, ew. So when it comes to age gap, you gotta be careful.
I think the vampires, because it's a little lenient, right? Because usually the vampires are like much older, just year wise, so it's kind of hard to get around that. But like the 25 to 17, that's
25 when he was turned and he was going after,
and he's old
high schoolers.
No, that's wild.
I was like,
nope.
Yep. I know. I was like, eat. Anyways,
should we jump into beekeeping?
Sure.
Okay. I don't have any beekeeping, so well, I guess we do have something. We have a co thing together, but I'll let you do your solo beekeeping first.
Oh, okay. So mine is just like more of a personal beekeeping, but I downloaded Storygraph.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah.
And, that was one of your goals.
Yeah. And it there is a way to link your Goodreads with Storygraph, but I can't remember my password is Goodreads. And it like makes you like log into your account, so I can't remember my like login stuff. So I've just been like manually
oh no.
filling things out.
No way. That's crazy.
Yeah, but I love it already. Like, I think it's so good.
Can you log in on your desktop?
Maybe. I don't know.
Is it your Facebook password? My Goodreads is my Facebook password because I linked them back in like 2009.
No, I don't think it is.
Okay.
Because I just got Goodreads like on my phone like not too long ago. So
okay. Yeah, because I actually, I don't know if I told you this before or not, but I use Storygraph for just a little tiny bit. I technically have one, and you can export your Goodreads as like a Excel file, and then import it into Storygraph, and it'll automatically put it in as like if you've read it, if it's on your TBR, like whatever. So, and it worked really well because I obviously couldn't do it manually because I have like 10,000 books on my Goodreads, so it wouldn't work forever for me. But it won't let you download it because you're logged into Goodreads, right? Like you can see your Goodreads stuff, but it won't let you download the file.
No, it won't let me log in because I don't remember my password. It just wanted.
So you're just out completely of Goodreads.
Yeah. Well,
by accident.
No, I'm still in my Goodreads. I still have, but because I was trying to get into my Storygraph and like link the two, it wanted me to log into my Goodreads, and I couldn't like remember my login stuff.
So this is different. This is different than what I was describing. I think.
Yes.
You're saying that like they can link and speak to each other without you having to download a file thing. Yeah,
but it is like a file thing, but it's like in the app of Storygraph. Okay. It like wants
Maybe
you to
it's because I did it
your...
on a desktop. Because I did all this on a desktop. Because I am a boomer and look at Goodreads on my desktop.
I was going to say, maybe that was the case. Because I haven't had the same experience.
Yeah. Look at Instagram on my computer too. Not very often though, I'll admit.
Ugh, I hate logging into Instagram on my computer. It feels like treachery. I don't know.
It is weird, honestly. It's definitely not set up for a computer.
No, not at all.
Yeah. Well, that sucks, but I'm glad you're on Goodreads. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
Have you like tracked a book yet? Yeah, Storygraph, sorry.
I'm still I just added the ones like as currently reading just the one that I'm like just now finishing, and then I put Cleat Cute on there too because I started it but I just haven't gotten into it. And so I don't think I have things for like the reading stats piece yet, but I do. That's funny. It's saying that my average time to finish a book is 3 months. That's hysterical. But it does say that my moods are I have emotional, dark, adventurous, and lighthearted. Those are my moods. Mm-hmm.
Those are so contradictory to each other that
I know.
It's adventurous, dark, and lighthearted. Yeah. How does it getting that though? Because you haven't tracked it yet, have you?
Well, I put all of my to read in there, and then I started with like my have read stuff, like adding. What I do like though is it allows you to like manually enter like the date frame that you like read a book or you started a book, which is really helpful. I think anyways. But
Goodreads has that too.
Yeah, but it's not as like you can't like click on it and then like change it.
Yeah, that's true. It's not very intuitive, I'll say that. And you have to like do the review thing first, I think, which is kind of annoying. So yeah, that's true.
Well, and if you want it to track as part of your like book challenge, if you don't put that you're currently reading it and that you read it, like you didn't do that in that order, if you just say, yeah, I read this book, it doesn't grab it, which is stupid.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Yeah.
Bitches.
Fucking Goodreads. You suck. Yeah. Well, we have like a collab beekeeping because Hailey and I both found out that we watch one of the same Booktokers. Oops. Mm-hmm. Which shouldn't be a shocker because we both are on Booktop a lot.
Yeah.
But the gal that we both love recently, her name is Newly Nova. That's her book handle, at Newly Nova. And she actually just did a really good video on the whole Amazon Kindle issue with not being able to download your books. She goes into it in really well detail. I will post a link to her TikTok, I guess, because I don't think I can link specific videos. Maybe if I can figure that out, I will. But she goes into great detail about why Kindle is doing this, why it's not great, and also why Amazon isn't good for publishing, because Amazon technically loses money on their book deals because they can make money on other things, and they've realized that it's nice because if people buy books on Amazon, they're probably going to buy other things that actually make them money. So they do that, and then they put local indie bookstores out of business and makes it really hard for bookstores to survive. So yeah, I would say check out that video, check out her content. She has really good stuff. She does readathons, and she does these really like comprehensive book reviews that are really like thorough, and I think she describes books really well. She describes books really well, better than we do, or I do, I should say. And I wish I could be like her with how she describes books. So yeah, go check her out. She's really good.
Yeah, I wish I could read books like her. Like, dang.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
She just buckles down. I wish I could like have
Yeah.
the gumption to do that, because I simply don't.
I can't sit still for like 10 minutes. let alone
Samesies.
read a book for 24 hours. That's just crazy.
Yeah, my ADHD says hell no.
Yeah, that is true. That is true. Cool. Well, happy beekeeping.
Yeah. Hell yeah. We're out here.
We're out here. Should we jump into today's main event?
Yeah.
All right. Today we're going to be cooking by talking about our favorite cookbooks.
Cookbooks.
Yeah.
I'm like really excited, but also at the same time, like, fair warning to our listeners, I'm about to be so unserious about my cookbooks because I literally can't remember any of them. And they're all in storage. So
yeah. Well, let's start by generally saying, do you read cookbooks like you do regular books? And if you do, would you track that in your reading log?
Ooh, that's a good question.
What do you think about that?
I definitely do not read books like cookbooks or cookbook. I don't read cookbooks. Oh my god. I don't read my cookbooks, in the same fashion that I do my regular books. Definitely no smutty romance up in here for my cookbooks.
Oh,
anyways.
but what a good idea.
Yeah, smutty. What a good...
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Okay.
We might cut this out so that we can do... Yeah.
No one take that idea.
That's a good idea.
I called dibs. And what was the last part of the question? Sorry.
Would you track it in your reading?
Would I? I mean, I personally wouldn't, but I think it would count because you are technically reading it, and technically it's a book, so
Yeah. So I would say I don't read them like regular books because they're not meant to be read that way, so I don't. But I do like to read the stories. I like to read about the artist, the creator. I like to read what inspired them to make a cookbook, and a lot of times it's because of their family and growing up cooking with their parents, or their grandparents or whatever, which I really love, especially if it's someone who's from a different culture. Like one of the books that I'm going to talk about, I guess I can go ahead and talk about it now. It's called The Korean Vegan Cookbook, and it's all about her life. And I'm looking for her name because I have it pulled up on my computer. Her name is Joanne Molinaro, I believe is how you pronounce her last name. And she talked about being raised in a Korean family, but also how she turned out to be, vegan and didn't want to eat meat. And Korean food has a lot of meat kind of ingrained into its food culture. And so she talked about what it's like to kind of change these recipes from her childhood and turn them to be vegan and, still represent what food they are, but actually be good and healthy for her. And it was really good. And the recipes, I've actually made a few of them. They're really great. I make kimchi from her recipe.
Ooh,
and it's really nice.
Hell yeah.
So yeah, I love that. I love to read recipes and parse out what's interesting about them. Like any recipe that has something fun to do, I love to make. I love to cook complicated stuff. And so I love that. And when I was a kid, I used to read cookbooks with my great grandmother as a child. And we would just sit down at the couch and we would read cookbooks and just kind of flip through them and see what recipes they were. So every time I look at a cookbook, that's what I think about first is reading with her. And there's a picture of us when I was probably like 4 or 5 years old, both of us just sitting on the couch flipping through these cookbooks that my grandma had. And so it was really, really, it's really fun to think about that. And yeah. It's good.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
What was like one of your most favoritist recipes out of like any cookbook that you've had or owned?
So the very first recipe I made was chicken and corn chowder. Which, but I will say this too, my family, at least my mom's side, always had a lot of cookbooks. Like my grandma had, and still has, quite a few cookbooks. My mom had a lot of cookbooks. So I just grew up around houses that had a lot of cookbooks. And there was this one little tiny like Betty Crocker magazine that had this chicken and corn chowder recipe. And I really wanted to make it. So my mom and I made it together and it was good. I remember enjoying it. I don't like it now, but I remember enjoying it the first time I made it. And that's probably the first thing that I remember thinking about wanting to make and then making it. Yeah. What about you?
That's fair. Well, shit.
Turn it back on to you.
I know. My most favoritist like recipe that I've made or just okay.
Or like, from a cookbook, like any like recipe you love from a cookbook.
From a cookbook. Shit. Well, it's not it's kind of family recipe. I don't know if it actually came from a cookbook, but like my family is the type of people where like, well, my grandma, that lady did not write nothing down. She just would like make shit and it would be really good. And then like now, since she's passed, every time I like go to like replicate something of hers, I'm like, son of a bitch, I didn't write it. Like no one wrote it down. So her stuff, like you can't like replicate, which is why you have to write stuff down. But we have like, because my mom has this, it's like, I want to say it's a Betty Crocker, but it's like, you know, I mean, it's one of those cookbooks where it has like all of our random family recipes just like shoved in, and then like friends recipes, just like amalgamation of just all of this stuff. And like index cards, and like wrote it down on a scrap piece of paper, you know, like that sort of thing. And so this recipe, I don't know who it came from, but it's a dessert recipe, and it is quite literally the easiest. It's for a quote-unquote cherry cheesecake. It is not a cake, and it's barely cheesecake, okay? But it's, and I'm not going to share the recipe because it is a family recipe, but it's super easy, and it's a pie. It's in a pie crust, but it's it's like cheesecake-like, and it's the easiest thing you'll ever make in your entire life. I think it's like all of like 4 or 5 ingredients, but it comes in a pie crust, and it has cherry topping from a can. Nice. Yeah. Classic. Classic.
I love the cherry stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's good, and we save it pretty much for like Thanksgiving and Christmas. Like that's pretty much the only time that this cheesecake in quotes gets made. But I can't eat it now because I'm lactose intolerant.
I was gonna ask.
So I can't have it.
I mean, you could.
I could. It would just be a disaster afterwards. But it's one of my it was one of my favorite recipes growing up. Like I would literally like save room as a child during Thanksgiving and Christmas just to have this cheesecake. And I would take the canned cherry topping and just, I mean, dump it
100%,
just
yeah.
as much. Yeah. I'm a sucker for maraschino cherries too. Like I'm one of those people who really likes artificial cherries. They're just tasty.
Yeah, me too.
I don't know.
Honestly, I like it too. And blueberry, like the blueberry stuff too, is really good.
Yeah.
Like, I love it. It's sugary as fuck.
Oh fuck!
It's good. It's good.
Yeah. But that was my like favorite, and it still is. I still have a soft space in my heart for it because it's fucking good. It's so good. I'll have to send you the recipe off here.
Yeah.
But
I'll try it.
Oh man, it's so good. And what's funny about it is this recipe in particular, my grandma, for some reason, I mean, there's not a lot of ingredients in it, but for some reason, whenever she would make it, it would never set because you have to like let it sit in the fridge overnight and then let it set and like get so it's more firm. And for some reason, hers never set, so it was always this like goopy like mess.
But it was good.
Yeah, but it was good. But every time or like my mom made it, like anytime we would make it, it would set just fine. So we were like, what is going on? Like, what is happening?
She probably put liquor in it or something.
Oh yeah, probably. She was like a little dash of brandy for you, a dash of brandy for me. No, because she was such a lush. My grandma loved her alcohol and her wine. Oh my god.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, that was my favorite recipe though.
Yeah. My mom, who's passed, I don't know if it says on the podcast, but my mom passed a few years ago, and we have a cookbook that she wrote, and I think it's also a Betty Crocker, or like the one with the goose. Do you know?
Like
that I'm talking about?
It has like the it looks like a picnic, like the cross, the hatch, whatever that.
One.
Yeah,
it's the same one.
Yeah.
And it's like it looks kind of like a 3-ring binder, but it's got that
That's
red
what we
kind
have
of on the side. Yeah, no, it's the same thing. So we have that my mom wrote in, and it's probably like, I don't know, 25% full of her stuff, her recipes that she's gotten. And my sister took a recipe from it that she loves, this chicken enchiladas, and her brother, my uncle, took a recipe from it, and I have the cookbook itself.
That's
and
cool.
I've added stuff to it that I've made throughout the years and put in. So it's really nice to have the connection like that.
That's really cool. Yeah, we have. Yeah. That's literally what we have. That's what my mom has.
When you said it, I was like, I bet it's the same one because it sounded really familiar.
Yeah. And ours has like my family has a finger steaks recipe that has been passed down.
Which is a very like that's an area we're from. I don't think a lot of people know what finger sticks is, but if you don't know, look it up. It's much better than how it looks.
It doesn't. Yeah, it sounds and looks not good, but it's tasty.
It's a very much a Pacific Northwest thing.
Yeah.
I don't think people know about outside of like Washington and Oregon and Idaho and maybe Montana. I don't know, but yeah.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the other recipe that my mom. Oh, like one of my brother's ex-girlfriends is from Kentucky. And she shared with my mom like some of her family recipes. I think maybe some of those are in there. I could be totally wrong, but I want to say that a couple of those are in there. That my mom just like wrote down and saved. And then I'm trying to think of the other recipe. Oh my god, there's a tater tot casserole recipe in there that makes me want to vomit. It's so disgusting, and my mom loves it, and other people love tater tot casserole, and I just can't. There's something about it that I'm like,
we like it here. Yeah.
It's such an Idahoan thing, I think.
No, it is. It's 100%. Like it's the weirdest shit, honestly.
It's so
but
weird. But like it's I don't know.
When you're hungry and like you don't want to cook and you can eat for like a whole week and
literally
not run out of food. Like
literally.
it's perfect. It's perfect.
Yeah. It's like I have like flashbacks of like childhood of my mom making it and me like having to like force feed myself and like because we were one of those families where it was like you eat what's put in front of you.
Yeah.
Whether you like it or not. And then it was like guess I'll just sit here for 30 minutes just trying to eat this, but it's disgusting. Yeah. I'm like that with green bean casserole. Don't like green bean casserole.
I love green bean casserole.
No.
That's the must-have at the Thanksgiving table.
Hard pass.
Green bean casserole.
Hard pass.
But do you make it from scratch, or has somebody made it from scratch? Because it's way different.
Yeah, my grandma would make it from scratch.
Okay.
Yep. She made everything from scratch. And it was
because,
disgusting.
Like the cream of mushroom bullshit that people do is terrible. You got to make the sauce from scratch.
Ew. Oh my god! I just had like again flashbacks of sitting at the table and wanting to leave the table. I couldn't until it was gone. Oh my god! Yeah, it's not a fun time, but yeah.
But yeah, cookbooks are
cool.
They're really fun because I feel like you get connected with the people who wrote it in a special way. I would track a cookbook. I don't think I've read a cookbook enough in recent years to make me feel like I would track it in my reading, but I 100% would. Like Salt, Acid, Fat, Heat is probably the last cookbook, and that's not really a cookbook per se, but I tracked that when I read it. And I use recipes from that, so I think it counts as a cookbook. But
I have a cookbook. Well, okay, so my brother got gifted a cookbook once, and which is so funny because I feel like no one's really out here just like buying themselves cookbooks. I feel like it's like gifts that you just get,
that's
and then you like, and then they sit on the shelf and then you don't use them. No, but my brother got a cookbook and it was a Scandinavian cookbook. And it had like all these like Nordic I don't know, just a bunch of different recipes. And it was I want to say it was like a lamb stew with like I can't remember if it was with coconut milk or something, but it was like the most delicious, flavorful stew I've ever. And I'm pretty okay with lamb. Like I know some people get weirded out by it, but I like lamb. And like hook me up with a lamb burger any goddamn day. Oh my god. But it was so good, and it was light but hearty and like buttery, and you know, because you had like the fat from the like lamb, and I like think about that stew often.
Wow, you got to recreate it.
I should. Well, and one time I asked my brother for the recipe, and I was like describing it. I was like, remember that one time when like we came over to your house and you like cooked us this like stew from from this cookbook that you got, and like it was really good, but I don't remember what it was called. He was like, he like sent me a picture. He was like, this one, and I was like, yeah, that one.
There you go.
But yeah, I have one year my husband gifted me, I don't know if you're familiar with like the Bon Appetit people, but it was like this whole thing. It was on YouTube, and like, I mean, there's also like a whole scandal with it and everything, but we would watch it every night after work, and one of the people on it, her name's Claire Saffitz, and she did a lot of the like baking dessert section, and she made a cookbook of desserts. And I'm a baker, like through and through. I fucking love to bake. And so my husband got me, and also the cookbook is a spiral notebook cookbook. So like I'm gonna need everyone to step up and put spiral notebook, like, you know, make the binding a spiral instead of,
for the cookbooks. Yeah,
the cookbook has like a spiral bind instead of just like a book.
I don't like it though.
Really?
Well, yeah, because I feel like the pages can rip out. That's like the one thing I don't like about my mom's cookbook is like it feels like it's fragile and could fall apart, and I don't like that aspect of it. Yeah, that's fair.
But I like it because when I'm cooking and it doesn't take up a lot of space, and then
it's easy to like flip it over and like read it. Yeah.
And it is a hardback. Like it does have like a hard like front and back. Okay. It's just like the binding is spiral, which is nice for me because when I'm moving stuff, and then you don't have to get one of those stands that like holds it open.
Yes, that's true.
But I did make her chocolate chip cookie recipe out of there. Really good chocolate chip cookies. It was the first time I ever browned butter, so that was cool. But not the best. I'm like totally yawning over here. But not the best like chocolate chip cookies that I've ever had in my life. Okay, like I'll just say that. Like they were a little on like the chewy, like slender side. I don't play like that.
I'm a crispy cookie person.
I'm a thick cookie, chewy, but like hard on the outside person.
Yeah. Okay. I respect that.
And fun fact about me, I have won blue ribbons at our county fair.
Whoa.
For my cookies.
I didn't realize I was with baking royalty here.
Yeah.
Wow.
Just saying. No. Damn. It's because in our home ec class, that was like something that we could do, was like enter our cookies into like the fair for like our bake stuff, and I entered cookies and won a blue ribbon. It was cool.
I think that's fun. I think that's cool. Yeah, I have some kind of fun cookbooks. My wife, I love cookbooks, which is obviously why we're doing this episode. Yeah. Because we both love cookbooks. My wife has gifted me a few over the years. She gifted me the Korean vegan cookbook. She also gifted me a tofu cookbook because I like to cook with tofu.
Hell yeah.
And a lot of really fun recipes. Like there's one where you just take tofu, you cube it up, you blanch it for like 6 minutes, and then you mix it in with pesto after it's like done blanching. It's just like this really quick like tofu snack, and it's delicious. And I love it. I haven't made it in a while, but yeah, the trick is you need to have good pesto. So either like homemade pesto or like a really good store-bought, not like, $2 pesto that you're trying to save money on, because it doesn't work out that well. So I have one of those. I also have a Lord of the Ring cookbook, which those are so, like, I love the video game movie cookbooks. And someone gifted me a Lord of the Ring cookbook, and I've used the potato soup out of that one. And hell yeah. Maybe even like the roasted chicken from that recipe was really good. And the lambas bread, the like elven bread, I made that once, and it was really good too.
That sounds so good.
And then my wife and I love the Great British Bake Off. So I don't think I've been gifted a Bake Off cookbook, but I've gifted my wife, I want to say 2 or 3
That's cool.
Great British Bake Off and they're all usually recipes that are in the show somehow, like someone makes it and then they do a cookbook on it. So those are really good because you see it on TV and then you're like, I want to make that, and then you get it and you can make it. So yeah.
Hell yeah. I haven't done any recipes out of it because when we moved into our house in Illinois, our oven, we didn't use our oven because it was a gas oven, and gas anything freaks me out. And so we just didn't use it. And but one of my friends, she gifted me for Christmas. It was either Christmas or my birthday, I can't remember. A Studio Ghibli cookbook. And I never got to like cook anything out of it, but I'm like really excited to like get back into it and like actually be able to do recipes and see what I can do. But yeah, I think it's got like, I want to say it had like the oh my gosh, when Ponyo in the Ponyo movie, when they're doing the ham and the I want to say it was ramen that they made, but I think that there's a recipe for that, and I don't remember what the other recipes were, but it was really cool.
I haven't seen that, so I'm not. I think I've seen the scene like on TikTok, but
oh yeah.
When I think of Studio Ghibli, I think of the scene where he makes the bacon and eggs. In Howl's Moving Castle. Nothing looks as good as those bacon and eggs, and I wish I could make my breakfast meals look like that.
I know, right? Like, listen, why does anime or Japanese animation food, it just looks tasty.
It just looks amazing. Yeah.
It looks amazing. Like, so good.
And that reminds me of cookbook that I wanted to mention too. I don't actually own it. I've had it. I've gotten it from the library multiple times though, so I should just buy it. Yeah. And it's called Let's Make Dumplings, which, and let me pull up the authors' names real quick. Hugh, Amano, and Sarah Becan are the author and artist, because it's a comic cookbook, which is perfect for the dumplings because they go through, and I've actually read this one like from front to back. They talk about like the history of dumplings and all the different types and where they originate from. And then the recipes, they have a complete list of them, and they show you like how to fold it in the comic book style. So you can actually like see the best way to fold the dumpling for whatever shape you're trying to make. And I've made the pork gyoza dumplings from this recipe, and it was really good. Like, I loved it. As well as the crab rangoons. I've made the crab rangoons, and actually my family loves them, and I get requested to make it on a pretty regular basis. So
that's awesome.
Those I really love. And they also have a ramen cookbook as well called Let's Make Ramen. And then I just saw while we were looking up before we started recording that they have a new one called Let's Make Bread, which I'm assuming is about making bread. So I'm gonna have to check that one out too, because it looks really good.
Hell yeah. I love a good gyoza. Like, oh my god,
the best. Yeah, the best.
And I'll eat it like, I like it steamed, I like it fried.
Same. In
soup, it doesn't matter. I fucking will eat the shit out of
soup dumplings are so amazing. Oh my god, I want soup dumplings right now.
I think I like just Japanese, like Korean. I love like Vietnamese, Thai, like that whole genre, I guess, of food is literally my favorite.
Me too.
I also love a good Italian. Like my grandma did not write down recipes like at all, but she made a stuffed shell like manicotti, like with some red sauce. Oh my god, it was so good. It was literally like the giant manicotti shells.
Hell yeah.
And then she stuffed them with like a ricotta blend, Parmesan, and then she I don't remember if she did jar sauce or if she made her, because she did it's like, my grandma was old school as far as like all of her stuff was made from scratch, and then like she'd cook my grandpa like dinner every night, like homemade dinner. There was no like, let me go get it out of the freezer. Everything was from scratch. And so I want to say she made her own red sauce, and it was good. And my family is not Italian, okay? But this woman cooked like she is Italian, and it was so good. So good. And luckily I can replicate your stuffed shells, so that's cool.
Oh, good.
Yeah. I've mastered that one recipe. But
oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
The cookbooks are great, and I feel like nowadays there's so much diversity with cookbooks, more than there used to be. Like, it used to be like cookbooks designed for women who were like stay-at-home moms, and you know, the characteristic stereotypical. But now there's a cookbook for literally everything, and it's just up to you to go out and find it, because you'll find a cookbook for every food type. You'll find a cookbook for every person. You'll find a cookbook for everything that you want to look for. You'll find a cookbook.
Facts.
And I think they're so much more fun than looking up online, because for one, you get to keep it and like see it and reference it and not be afraid it's going to get taken off, which is always the thing that I worry about. And two, you get to experience a whole like array of different food types, whereas when you go to a recipe, you're usually just Googling a recipe for one specific thing, but you're not really thinking about other things that pair with it, or sides that might be good with it, or desserts, or whatever. So it's nice to have those kind of lumped together.
Yeah, I agree. Cookbooks are just so cool.
They're really cool.
They're really like an unsung hero of the book world.
Yeah, they are. And they're beautiful too. They're just like, it takes a lot of work to put them together, and they look really good. Yeah. I wish Goodreads. Oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say that there's a lot of testing too that goes into them.
Yes, that's true. Making a cookbook. Yeah, you're right. That's true. Good point. I was also going to say too that Goodreads used to have a category for best cookbook for their like year review. Cool. And I wish they brought it back, because I really liked it. I thought it was kind of cool to see what cookbooks people were voting for, but they got rid of it probably because not a lot of people voted in it. But
yeah, that makes sense.
I kind of miss it.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, do we have any other thoughts about cookbooks?
Not really. Just that they're cool, and
go buy one.
Yeah, go buy a cookbook. Go to Barnes and Noble or your local bookstore, or go rummage around your grandparents' freaking house and find a cookbook.
Yeah, go steal their cookbooks.
Go steal them. Go take them and be like, Grandma, I'm taking this. Or whatever you call your grandma.
I'm sure they'll be happy with it. Just like my grandma would literally give me anything I asked from her house. She'd be like, yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
Right? Or they might not even notice. Maybe you just take it.
That's true.
And they never know. Because that was my grandma's house. You could probably take something and she'd probably notice. She was pretty, like, she was like, I know where all my stuff is.
Laser focused.
Yeah, she knew her shit. She also cleaned her house, like, daily, so.
Oh, yeah.
There was no dust at her house.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Well, if you want to steal a cookbook from your family, feel free to do so. But before you do that, we'd like you to email us by shooting us an email, booksandbeespod@gmail.com. Tell us how you're doing. Tell us what cookbooks you like. And then you can Instagram us at booksandthebeespod.
Hell yeah.
On Instagram. Feel free to go to Instagram on your desktop and message us. We won't judge you. I promise.
I'll judge you. I'm judging you.
And if you want to give us a review on your podcast listening app, you can by just doing the 5-star thing. It's different for every podcast app, so I can't tell you how to do it, but I'm sure you can figure it out. You guys are pretty smart. We are not on Apple Podcasts yet, but we should be soon, because I emailed them to talk to them about it, so we'll see what happens with that. But you can tell based off of everything that we do here, we're not technologically smart, so we're working on it.
We're doing our best, okay?
We're doing our best. It's only been a year that we've been trying to get on Apple Podcasts. So.
Listen, we have jobs.
These are we have full-time gigs that are not podcast related. So, and I will give a shout out to the American Indie for the use of the song Rendezvous. It's the intro and outro to our podcast. It's a bop. We love it. We love them. Go check them out on Spotify.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
With that, we hope you enjoyed this literary journey as much as we did. If you're buzzing with excitement, don't forget to subscribe, email us, and leave a high 5-worthy review on your podcast listening app. Until next time, happy reading, and may your shelves be filled with tales as enchanting as a blooming garden. Keep the buzz alive, and we'll catch you in the next chapter. Bye for now.
Bye.